Last game on today's very short six-game uh, card. I would call it getaway day, but there are some instances where we have some series beginning here. A couple in the National League, or three out of the four in the National League, are series beginners. Pittsburgh, Milwaukee, the only series that's closing. Here in the American League, we do have two series ending, though, so it's getaway day for these teams, including Game 9, 11, 9, 12, Detroit versus Kansas City. Matt Boyd, Edinson Volquez. These two guys are mound opponents for tonight. Wow, Matt Boyd just hasn't been very good since he's come up to start for the Detroit Tigers. And this is going to be the third time in less than a month that he's faced these Kansas City Royals. Back on August 5th, in his third start with the team, Matt Boyd went 7 innings, allowed 7 hits, allowed 1 earned run. Very good start. Excellent, especially against a team like Kansas City, who it doesn't matter whether they're facing lefty or righty. They just hit the baseball. Not a team that strikes out a lot, not a team that walks a lot. They just go up there, swing, and make contact. But he came right back, started against them 5 days later, and once they saw him, they got to him pretty good. 5 1/3 innings, pitched 9 hits, 3 earned runs. 1 walk, so 10 base runners in those 10 1/3 innings. The Royals end up winning that ball game, so two pretty polar opposite starts for Matt Boyd against the Royals. Now he's going to see him for the third time, and he's just not in any kind of good form whatsoever. His numbers so far this season as a starter: 7.00 ERA, 1.64 WHIP, about 17.3 pitches per inning to get out of one. The walks, the strikeouts aren't great. 26 strikeouts, 10 walks, less than 3-1. But how about 11 home runs allowed in 36 innings? That's a huge number. Almost one home run every 3 innings allowed by Matt Boyd. You can expect to see some bullpen here for the Detroit Tigers. That's never really a good thing. And Boyd has gotten to and through 6 innings 4 times this season. But boy, the third time around, this KC lineup is seeing him now. I just can't believe that he's going to have much success against the Royal lineup. The other side here is Edinson Volquez, who's been good at home. Kauffman Stadium's been good to this guy so far this year. At home, he's 7-3 in 13 starts, 2.94 ERA, and 79 2/3 innings pitched. So those numbers pretty good. He's had mixed bag of results against the Detroit Tigers this season. Had one start back on May the 2nd where he was very good. 6 innings pitched, 5 hits, only 2 earned runs allowed. That game was at home right here in Kauffman, and as I said just a second ago, he's been good in Kauffman, so maybe you'd expect that. But he pitched against the Tigers on August 12th, 3 weeks ago, right here in Kauffman, and got lit up. 7 innings, 8 hits, 6 runs, 5 earned. Walked a couple, so he had 10 base runners in that game. Detroit got to him in that particular contest. For Edinson Volquez, that start went up and over the total. He has been tending toward the under, or trending toward the under recently. 4 out of his last 6 starts have gone under. Matt Boyd, 4 of his last 5 have gone under. But when we take a look at the price tags in this game, both side and total, we see that the side shows Volquez opening at -$2, now being bet down to around 190. Some places less, 188. I see out there 184. So you're talking about a 10 or 15 cent move towards Boyd and the Tigers in this game. The total has gotten hit a little bit and is being hit right now. Went from 8.5 under 20, got all the way up to 8.5 pick'em. Right now we see about 6 or 7 places that have moved that number to 8.5 at pick. Only one spot that I can see right now that still remains with the 8.5 under. So it looks like there's some movement on the total here this morning toward the over. Can't say that I would argue with it. You always have to respect the Detroit Tiger offense, no matter what's going on with the pitching. The offense has been there all season long, especially when you have Miguel Cabrera. Volquez's home numbers have been good, but we did point out one start this year against Detroit where he got hit pretty good. So I think despite the fact that both of these pitchers in their recent outings have put up more unders than overs. I talked about the trending ways of these two pitchers toward the under. I think this one might get up and over the total. Kansas City against Boyd, I just cannot see them getting any less than 5, 6 runs in this game. And the Tigers against Volquez, absolutely capable to explode against him as well. The bullpen situation, obviously, huge edge for Kansas City in this game. All their arms are ready to go out of that pen, and they have 4 guys who could probably close for some teams in the major leagues. So the huge edge for Kansas City, and perhaps the door gets shut late on the Tigers here by that bullpen, but you give them 5, 6 innings against Volquez, I think they'll do enough to maybe get this one over the total. It's not a game that I'm in love with, but I do think you have to kind of lean that way towards over. I also think, if you're going to play the game, let's reduce it down on the run line here. Go ahead and play the Kansas City Royals. If you were to do so, you can take a team that's a $1.90 favorite straight up, go ahead and lay a 1.5 and bring them down to an underdog price of about $1.05 on average. So I think that's the way I would play it if I was going to play it. KC run line, perhaps a little over money. We'll see if I can get there with it later on in the day. We'll see where these numbers move to, but right now that's the way I'm looking at it. Maybe a little over in this contest, little KC run line.